Hi, welcome back to Books and Bullshit. On this episode, we're going to be talking about Fourth Ring by Rebecca Yarros. So, what were your thoughts? I gave it a 4.5 out of 5.
I gave it the same. I was a little bit disappointed in the lack of spice scenes for a book that everybody warned if you could get through the spice, it was like really good.
Yeah, it didn't seem to have as much spice as everybody was making it out to be. I mean, I will admit that the two scenes we did have were really good.
They were explosive, I'll give it that.
But it wasn't like a lot of it.
Yeah. Either. And it's just like I was hoping for a lot more diddling. It feels like that's a trend that keeps
happening
where we'll like read a book because it's recommended to have a lot of spice and then it really doesn't. And it makes me wonder, like, okay, because so I've read a lot of books that have like every other chapter is like a whole chapter's worth of like boinking happening. And then I'll read these books that like everybody's like, oh my gosh, you have to read it. If you can't, there's so much spice, there's so much spice. Or they'll be like, if you can get through the amount of spice. And then I read it and I'm like, is this what society considers spice? Because some of the books I'm reading, like, they're doing it so much.
Sometimes I wonder if it's me whose view is skewed on the amount of spice a book has.
Like, is it me? Is this like a lot of spice for books? Or have I just found a really depraved area of literature?
You're like, am I the problem? Or
especially when I compare it to what I read in like high school and I'm like, maybe I have found the special section of the library. This is the real forbidden section.
Because, like, I don't know, like, I feel like I read spicier books when I was in high school. Don't get me wrong, Fourth Ring was great. Like, it was very intriguing. The plot kept me wanting.
Oh yeah, I loved it. I just wanted more sex.
I'm super excited for book 2, but I wouldn't.
No, I wonder how it's gonna have more sex.
I wouldn't inherently call it a spicy book.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that this is a book that if you can get through the smut, the story is really intriguing. It's more of like, this is a really good story with really strong story arcs that are building, and the dragons and the way they're described, especially with their tails, they're described really well. This is a book that has really good descriptions, really good character building, and a little bit of spice, that just makes it on that side of this is a book for adults, not for children, because of these sex scenes. But in all reality, if you took the sex scenes out, your average high schooler or even upper middle schooler could read it.
Also, I feel like maybe people are considering it spicy because of her thoughts that she has.
Yeah, I mean, she is a little bit dirty in her thoughts. I guess you'd have to take those thoughts out too. I kind of forgot about this. To me, I guess I've always kind of thought a little bit like that. So,
but even those, I was kind of like, wasn't really bad.
Yeah, they were just like, oh man, he's super hot. Man, I hate him, but damn, I could make out with him all day.
Especially when you compare it to the fact that it's supposed to be a war college, and even her sister was like, yeah, you should just boink because you don't know if you're gonna die, so just have all the sex you can have. Girl was not having all the sex she could have, if I'm being truly honest.
She was like, and she's like, I've done it before. And I'm like, so why? I mean, like, I get it after a certain point in the school year, but you would think at the beginning of the year, maybe there was a few people, like, it would have almost been a little bit better or spicier, I guess, if like she had didgeridooed with some people and then like they showed up to the matches, like beat the fuck up, and she was like, who the fuck kicked their ass? And Zayden's just over there just staring fucking daggers, and she's like, why the fuck would he beat them up? Turns out he's like, I'm not gonna touch her and I'm gonna be a dick to her almost at points, but also don't fucking touch her or I'll kill you.
Like, only I can touch her, but she can't know that yet.
Yeah, that would have been some extra spice. Because spice doesn't always have to equate to them doing it. Sometimes it's a, touch her, you'll die kind of thing, Or,
he could have also just, after some mat scenes, she could have followed him, thrown thrown her. Then he could have thrown her against a wall,
Yeah. You know what I
fingered
mean?
her a bit,
Right after she comes, he's
drop
like,
her down, and
walk
walks away because he's so disappointed in himself for not being able to keep his control.
there is no control when it comes to her. You know, I really enjoyed the plot twist at the end and the whole fight scene at the end in general. I was
Oh,
like, I
yeah.
was sitting there. I was like, it was actually so funny because so I was sitting and reading, and they, you know, they explode out the window and they're laying there cuddling, and all of a sudden you gotta go, we're under attack, and they're going. I was like, oh, Scott, shit's going down. Finally, I'm so excited. And then all of a sudden they like got to the field, and the guy was like, actually, this is the final part of the war games. And I was like, I was wrong. And then all of a sudden everything really started to go down, and he's like, listen, you're on my team, let's go. And he's like, you're gonna get her killed. I'll miss you, Violet. You know, and I was like, oh wait, nah, shit might be going down. And then they're getting that. I was like, I wonder what's gonna happen. They're going past the words. What's going on? I was so excited.
Or also, my biggest thing too is how mad she is at Xaden at the end of the books. I feel like is a little bit over exaggerated. Like, I get that he wasn't completely honest with her, but at the same time, you're best friends with somebody who can read your mind, and clearly he did by with the fact of where you guys got
I
sent.
wanna stab someone
Because of where you guys got sent, and the fact that their war game thing was pretty much like, hey, do this and like you'll live, and let this village get decimated by the venom, or go protected and you'll probably die.
How would you pronounce their dragons?
Karin and
No. You know, the venom, the Wyvern. I could not figure it out in my head.
Oh,
Wyvern.
Wyverns. Why are you asking the girl with the speech impediment?
Well, because I could. My brain was sitting here, and every single time I read it, I was like, Wyvern, Weaven. My brain was like,
I've heard it said.
I feel like the one thing this book could have done is added a pronunciation guide, especially for Tarn, like big name,
Sigel.
And then that one and Seagulls and
Seagulls, whatever.
Days. I think, you know, because not everyone would have gotten some of those, and definitely I didn't. That would have been nice, especially for some of the pronunciations of some of the places as well that they were naming.
Yes, Wyverns.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm
also because my eyes are not good. I wish the map was a little bit like the writing was just a little bit bigger. Not that the map was bigger, but maybe the writing was a little bit bigger, because I was like, okay, because I got to find the locations on the map that we start talking about to have an idea of like
what's going on.
Yeah, I don't see pictures in my head, so when they provide maps, that's actually very helpful for me to piece it together.
But yeah, so I feel like, you know, once she found out that the fairy tales were inherently true, and her government has rewrote history,
and her dad was even trying to fucking warn her,
and they've been lying for centuries, and he couldn't tell you the full truth because your best friend could just go like and steal that memory, which he did do
multiple times,
and you're mad that Xaden didn't tell you the full truth.
She better cut off his hands.
Like, I get that she's like, well, when I confessed my love for you, you could at least told me and then help me protect the war. You confessed your love to him the night that you all had to get sent to the war games.
Yeah, listen. I know we're like running out to battle right now, and the window just exploded, and we got to get dressed and down there as fast as we can. But like, real quick, I'm a rebel. I've been aiding the Griffin Riders with weapons, and your best friend, I'm pretty sure, has been stealing your thoughts, and this is why I haven't told you everything. And I know we're like all under attack right now and all of this is happening, but I need to make sure you know this before we're separated for potentially days at a time so we can both spiral.
And also,
but let's go.
Also, all those fairy tales that your dad used to tell you, they're all true, and we weren't always at war with the Griffin Riders. Instead, we fought with them to fight the venom, and then 5 centuries ago, a generation of people just decided to undo that and create barriers and wards, and we rewrote history, and even our dragons don't agree with the fact that we did that, but yet the higher ups don't seem to correlate the fact that the dragons are mad at us for, you know, ditching these group of people to
I bet they have.
And are like, I mean, they probably have, but they haven't done anything about it because they're too safe behind their wards, and the dragons are like, well, then we just won't bond with you, and your wards will fail, and then you'll have to fight, fuckers.
Yeah. Dude, I'm really excited how they're gonna explain how, because Taryn's previous writer was
Taran. I don't
Taryn.
even know.
I don't fucking know. Anyways, what died trying to save Brennan?
Yeah.
Who was shot with with the
whatever thing,
dragon bolt.
Yeah.
And stuff. And so, like, I'm wondering if he died trying to save Brennan, did it either work and Brennan did come back to life? Or is that all a cover up in what we've been told? Or, like, what? And, I mean, I'm guessing Taryn's writer died. Because, like, obviously that part's fact.
Yeah.
But, like, how did Brennan survive, I guess? That'll be exciting to learn. I really hope that is something covered quickly for me, because that's been a big question outside of course, the toilets.
I'm also convinced that her dad was murdered, that he found out what was happening and they were slowly poisoning him.
Or he escaped and they are covering it up and telling her that he died.
Yeah.
It seems like anything's possible now that Brennan's alive.
Because inherently, we don't know a lot about her dad. We don't know anything. We know he was a scribe. We don't even know his name.
Yeah, right. Also, I think her mom's gonna die.
Oh, probably. I think her mom's gonna die.
Her mom, and obviously probably Melgren by the end, of course.
Hopefully. I think her sister in this next book is going to find out about everything and join them.
Yeah.
And probably her mom will die in some way, shape, or form. I think it might, lead to what, like, her sister joining, or, something going down.
I hope that they get all of the kids with the rebel mark, like, out of that college as quickly as possible soon, because that place is extra unsafe for them.
Oh, yeah.
Man, talk about multi-level racism. No.
Also, the fact that they're like, oh, your parents were traitors, and you're only a baby, but we were going to kill you unless you join this college that will also probably kill you.
Yeah, like, listen, your options are probably death, but, like, if not death, then hey. Because they were really like, dragons won't bond with them, and then the dragons were like, actually, we're going to give them our strongest ones. I bet they're, like, shitting their pants. They're like, oh, man, this is already not going the way we thought. Also, really creepy, the Melgren's like, I like to lay eyes on that boy. At least once a year.
Dude, keep your pervy thoughts to yourself.
Go sit in the corner. Go sit in the corner.
No one wants to see you.
Nobody wants to talk to you.
Also, the fact that Melgren's dragon is the only dragon that's bigger than Taran, and
it.
And that Melgren somehow, like, I feel like Melgren, like, I don't know, I don't like him. He's so shady.
Shady. Her mom is super shady. She has a weapon that
with the
just
ruins.
So happens to be able to protect her from a venom,
but never told her daughters or her son anything about it.
I really want to know how the dad came across the book of fables and whatnot, and how he found that, because obviously that book is like 500 something years old.
And because like, it's not even in the archives.
Yeah, and if it's that fucking old, how did he get it? Where did it come from? Has it been passed down through his family through generations? Did he get it from, like, Xaden's dad? Like, and on top of that, how did, like, Xaden's dad figure out that the Navarians were lying and that the Griffin Riders were fighting the venom on themselves? I'm very curious about some of these questions. However, I don't feel like they'll go unanswered, because I feel like even the first book was good at, like, giving you a bunch of questions, but answering a good portion of them. I just don't know
when it'll be answered, because it is a 5-book series. And
we'll see. Torture.
But I just, I have a lot of, like, her mom's clearly shady. Like, her mom, for somebody who is all like, oh, I love my family, totally threw her kids to death without blinking a fucking eye.
Fuck my son, fuck my daughters.
Even the one that I know really shouldn't go into the writer's quadrant, because she's just not as...
I wonder if she chose not to have Violet go into the scribes and go to the writers because her husband had gone into the scribes and maybe had gotten his hands on forbidden literature and learned what they were hiding, and she didn't want to risk her daughter finding out the same things, because if a Sorrengail were to find out those things and then actively start to, like, go into the rebellion. And with Violet being softer and having a softer heart, I wonder if it was her way of trying to make sure certain secrets stayed hidden and weren't found out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like if her daughter's in the White Rider's Quadrant, she's either going to die or end up in a section that she's not going to ever be able to have access to that information to learn any better. So she'd be able to, in a sense, be able to control her daughter better in the Rider's Quadrant than if she was a scribe, where she would have potentially learned secrets
Oh, yeah.
that she shouldn't have.
She still learned them.
Oh yeah, because she's not a dum-dum. She still thinks like a scribe.
Which is very useful for them.
Yeah, they're like, I thought it was so funny throughout the book how people were like, you think like a scribe. Oh my god, way to compliment her. She's smarter than you.
So you're saying you're stupid.
I love her banter with authority figures, like the fact that she rolls in there. And I like how in her brain she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so meek, I'm so shy, I'm so broken, I'm so like I'm falling apart. And then out loud she's like, nah, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And you know what, Xaden? Extra big. Fuck you. Basically, you know.
Pretty much.
And she's
like, what are you gonna do? Kill me?
Yeah,
my body's been trying my whole life.
Right, in front of people too. She has no problems disrespecting authority. You want to know why people are worried about her teaming up with Xaden? They think she's the bad influence. She's gonna corrupt this boy. Look at the way she sasses him and everyone around her. Even like teachers, there's multiple points where like everyone she'll talk about it. Like so and so's raising their hand, and teacher calls on them and gave an answer, and then every so often the teachers either just call on her. She's not raising her hand. They're just like, listen, we know you know the answer. Or she literally just pops off and she's like, so what about this? And they're just like, and then they're like, you know what, roll with it. You know what, roll with it. Because if I even try to argue with you, you're going to tell me fuck you in front of everyone in this room and probably just, well, you walk out the door backwards or something. I can't do this. Do you know who your mother is? I can't do this.
I can't do this. Also, just the fact that everybody's like, you won't be able to handle pain. And she's like, bitch, that's all I know.
24/7, all day, every day. Punch me in the face!
I also like how she just was poisoning people.
I loved that. She's like, you know what? You're right. I probably can't take you down physically, but it's a good thing I got a scribe brain.
I'll just poison you. She's like, no, I need I need breakfast duty and lunch duty, thanks.
Yeah.
Everybody else is like, why would you want that duty? You don't need to know.
I think she has Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. That's what it sounds like. Her joints and bones have.
Oh, yeah.
Like with the how they dislocate and stuff. It sounds
and
like
how her bones are so
fragile
and they just break.
Yeah. I am very curious because, I mean, with it not being like a modern society other than the toilets.
You're never going to get over those toilets, are you?
I don't think so. Not until I hear her have a scene in a bathroom where she like pees or something and it flushes and then she showers. I don't know. I just need to know. Does it, like, I get it's indoor plumbing, but what level of indoor plumbing? Because indoor plumbing developed over a long period of time and there's been several versions of it before what we know of modern indoor plumbing. So what version of indoor plumbing? Because it just helps me place in my head more of what the fantasy looks like, I guess. Unless you just don't mention a bathroom. Just didn't have to mention it.
True.
If it hadn't been mentioned, it wouldn't live in my head so strongly. But now it's been mentioned. And I lost my train of thought because of those damn toilets. Oh, fuck.
Something about her bones breaking.
Oh, yeah. I am kind of curious about what, like, causes that for her. I guess she's like, because my mother had a fever while pregnant with me, and that's part of it. I wonder if... And
it also has to deal with her hair, like why it's
half and half. Yeah,
and
I'm super curious about
and
all
no matter
that.
how much she, like, no matter where she cuts it, the ends always get bleached of their color.
Yeah, I wonder if she's magical without a dragon. I don't know. I'm very curious about all that. I hope that's something I'm sure it'll get explained, and I'm sure it's something that doesn't get explained. Probably not even in the second or third book.
Probably not.
Maybe we'll see. But, you know,
probably more of a fourth book series, like fourth book.
Untapped power. Yeah, it's gonna be the thing that maybe Maybe that's why she has access to storms. I don't know. Maybe her mom boned a dragon and she's just really half dragon.
She's just. I think you've been reading too many
Shifter books. I'm reading too many shifter novels. I'm sorry. I'm actually reading one currently with a dragon shifter, and it's a golden dragon. And you know what? Good book. It's got spice.
I know, you've been telling me she had to freeze him, like put him in stasis three
times.
times.
He was in a rut. I love when they use words like that because they just make me want to giggle. Like, oh my god.
You're like, you're gonna make me blush.
Sometimes I read and I'm like sitting there and the scenes get so graphic. I'm like, I need to put this down for a second and breathe because that's ridiculous. Haunting Adeline, I had to put the book down quite a bit through the dirty scenes because I was just like, this wouldn't happen. The way I'd bite him. I thought the book was written by a boy. I couldn't finish it. I DNF'd it recently. Yeah, I got about 70-something% of the way through, and it's still sitting there, and I haven't finished it. I don't know if I'm going to not finish it or not. It's just, right now, it's a DNF on Tether Books.
You've moved on.
Yeah. Quick like that.
Couldn't handle her weird...
I'm so scared, but I'm so horny at the same time. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm not somebody who gets horny from fear things. In fact, I like adamantly hate horror for the most part, especially scary movies. So like, she's like, there's that whole scene. They're at this like party thing, and they're in like watching a movie. Like snuck out of the party, and they're like in a private movie theater, and they're watching like a scary movie, and they do some dirtiness in there, and I was just like. Yeah,
the way I would
wouldn't catch me.
The way I get so scared that if like I'm watching a horror movie and somebody like touches me, I immediately think some demon's coming to possess me, and I start freaking out.
Like,
especially if it's in the dark. Like, don't touch me. The demons are out.
Yeah, nope. Wrong movie. In fact, you just want to catch me watching one of those. So like, maybe it's just not my style book. But anyways. Maybe. I actually really enjoyed Fourth Wing. I'm not normally super into military books. I think this is done really well. I really, really like how the dragons are described. I really like that she got a baby dragon.
I know.
And stuff. I can't wait for her to grow up and us to learn what other power she's going to be able to channel.
Well, I think they mentioned that she did.
Yeah, that she aged up. That's what I kind of thought they were going to be showing us at the end of the
But nope, book. It was her brother.
Her brother. Now I was like, what?
I'm really excited to start reading.
Yeah, I'm going to start it tomorrow.
And I'm hoping that some of the questions we have get answered.
While also giving us new questions because there's
or
5 books.
Maybe not fully answered, but like hints so I can start forming theories.
I love that.
Because especially when it's like a 5-book series, like I don't mind if the full answer isn't answered, but like parts of it are.
And I
like
can start edging.
And like
it's book edging.
And I can like form theories, so then I can also compare like my previous theories to what new theories I get as more books come out. Just to, I don't know. I like forming book theories.
Me too. I definitely with books like this, what I really like is good cliffhangers with the right amount of like answering your questions while also like kind of hinting at certain answers, enough that you can form your own theories. Like I said, book edging. I like a good amount of book edging.
I also really like what was I gonna say? When like it gives you a cliffhanger, but not so much of a cliffhanger that I will lose my mind until the next book comes out.
Yeah.
Like enough to keep me intrigued that like I am like, actively aware of when the next book was going to come out, but not so much as I'm just sitting here like in a book paralysis of like, well, now what do I read for the next 2 years until the next book comes out?
Yeah, I will say I felt like the cliffhanger for this one was actually done really well because like you got a lot of answers right there at the end, so you feel kind of satisfied, and then you get that big cliffhanger that was like, wait, what? Her brother isn't dead. but it wasn't something that was so hinted at throughout the book that you feel like, wait, what? Like, almost like the book could have just been done there.
Yeah.
And that was it. Well, like, I just felt like it was done well.
I do too. I don't know.
I'm also really happy that the second book is already out and that the third one's almost done. Like, gonna be here soon, because
I'm not usually one to read series until they're fully completed, and that is because I have zero patience, and I usually don't like waiting for the next book to come out. I prefer, so I'm kind of happy that we are at least starting this one when it's already pretty much halfway through.
We're at the halfway point. I think it'll be nice to have a little something to wait for, because having some books for later to read on here will be nice. Having something that's like almost like pre-planned episodes.
Yeah, I always want all the answers. I like instant gratification. What can I say?
You know what? As the old taco commercials used to say, why not both? Instant gratification as well as book edging.
I know. But I am super excited. I feel like we got answers, but there are still more questions. Like, I have so many questions about her shitty government and why they
Oh, yeah. You know what, though? Favorite scene when she came out on the parapet.
Yeah.
And stuff, and he was out there brooding, and she's like, no, I won't leave you. She's in that dress. I can picture it billowing in the wind. You know what I mean? That was probably one of my favorite scenes.
I also really loved the very first when she like gets off and she just puts the knife to Jack's balls.
Yes, man, I was hoping she killed him slowly, painfully, and with a lot of small cuts.
Yeah, but a mountain just fell on it.
And then she felt guilty. She shouldn't have felt guilty. You know what? You should have made it slower, longer, and more vengeful.
You know, I kind of realized I read enough of these books that I feel like if I ever got placed like in a world like that, I don't know if I would really feel guilty. I'd just be here like, casualties of war.
Murder.
Also, like, you've been trying to kill me, so why should I feel bad?
Yeah, right. Like,
what were your morals? You want me to have morals? I only have morals for other people who have morals. I don't have
morals, man. I don't have morals once we get to this level. They're gone. You killed them. Remember that time you beat me up? You beat my morals out of me.
For you specifically. I have morals for that person because they have morals for me, but you?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, murder in a fantasy world, case-by-case basis, boo. Don't worry. Don't sweat it. He deserved it. Yeah.
I get that she was, like, raised to be a scribe and all that, but I was like, even as a scribe, you're reading about death, so...
Yeah, and, like, scribes die. Like, people don't not die just because they're not writers. You're still, I get it's not brutal, and I guess it's, like, the action of it, like, she actually actively chose to take life. But you know what? He deserved it, man. He almost killed Liam, man.
I know.
Fucking poor Liam.
Poor Liam.
Such a little sweetheart. He just trying to do the best he could.
I'm really sad he's dead.
I'm excited to meet his sister next book. I think that'll actually be pretty cool, seeing how they're different, but maybe possibly, like, similar. You know how they make siblings, like, a little bit similar in books, Yeah. It'll be cool to see how they're a little bit similar, but also they're completely own person.
Right.
I don't know why that came out like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad her brother's alive. I'll take the trade-off, but I kind of sad it had to come at the cost of his death.
Yeah, I feel like they had enough other people, like, maybe just have killed Garrett. Or something.
Like, I don't know.
Mainly because we just had more time with Liam. I thought he was good comedy relief. It would have been really cool to maybe have seen Dane show up last minute to actually help them and have decided that he was going to, like, not be a piece of shit.
But nope, he's a piece of shit.
Piece of crap. Cut his hands off!
Honestly, though, like...
Don't kill him, just cut his hands off.
I hope he has a redemption arc, but I feel like I hold grudges. I don't know if I could ever forgive my best friend for doing that kind of shit to me.
If they took care of Melgren, let's say third book, he could end up making a potentially really good adversary that keeps the war going. Yeah. Because he's able to read thoughts and stuff, and that maybe he could be the ultimate villain that Violet, by the end, has to take down because he still fights to keep. Like, maybe all the big current key players get taken out, but then new ones emerge trying to take over and continue the fight because of their faithfulness. He'd make a really good head for that because of his ability to not want to break the rules. It would be interesting to see her ultimately have to face off against him and see if she could survive having to off him.
All I'm saying is for somebody who was supposed to be her best
just
friend,
cut off his hands.
Who was supposed to be her best friend, he really did not have a lot of faith in her.
When has he treated her like a best friend? He's violated her mind, gotten jealous, angry, kissed her, manipulated her. He literally kissed her and then went, actually, that was a mistake because I'm your higher up and we shouldn't do this. Also, everyone, tell me one person. Tell me one person who is in charge of them that would look at her and Dane getting together and go, oh, he's taking advantage of her. This isn't right that, he's older than her. He's her superior, when they've literally grown up together and everyone in charge knows they've been best friends since they were small children. If anything, they're all sitting around hoping it fucking happens because it would be such a good alliance between people in charge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's not a single person who's the boss of you guys who'd probably have a problem with you guys getting together, and he knows that.
Also, it's the fact that he never really had faith in her. He literally did not.
You can't do this. You're gonna die. Let me kidnap you out of here. Let me,
And then when she was like,
try and make deals on her behalf without even a conversation.
When that, what was her name, Amber thing happened, I think he didn't even believe her until the memory came. But he tried to glean the memory himself.
With force. I still think that speaks to the fact that he was probably underlying comfortable with already doing that to her. That he had been doing it. Which is why he had such a comfortability just naturally trying to go do it anyways.
Yeah.
And
like,
what a dirty boy!
And then, it's like the fact that he knew that they were going to be going off to death, and did he warn her? No,
he's gonna get you killed. You got her. If she dies out there, it's your fault because you stole her memories. You snitched. You knew he would probably be like, he knew the likelihood that Xaden was like, okay, well, this is a 5-day thing, so I'm going to request that our dragons stay together because of their bond. He knew. Don't weaponized incompetence. And he's just like, the rules are the rules. I can't break them for anyone. Then you're not my best friend, because I would break the rules for the rules for you.
Yeah, to save your life, I would break the rules. Yeah. Like, and he's over here like, I couldn't break the rules even if it meant you died. Well, then you're not my best friend.
If higher ups, like, if this was us, and I could read memories, and my boss was like, listen, I'm gonna need you to go steal your bestie's memories and then snitch on them if anything comes up. The way I would be doing it, but then also turning around and telling them, like, I didn't see shit. Honestly, all of her memories, she's training, she's sleeping, she's training. I saw her poison a couple people.
What do you want?
What else? Her and Xaden fight like cats and dogs, and all her mind says all the time is fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And that's what you would get from me. Because who's going to doubt me? I'm the one who can read minds. I don't know what you're talking about. This bitch right here, all she thinks about is training, killing things.
And how much she hates Xaden.
How much she loves how much she loves Naveen, hates Xaden, wants, like, if it wasn't for the fact that their dragons are bonded, she would literally use the first opportunity she got to slit his fucking throat. She dreads having a lifetime of their careers together. Would not sell you out for all the gold in the fucking world.
Because we're true best friends.
Yeah, exactly. And not a bestie.
And Dane's a little bitch.
Yep. A little baby-backed bitch. Baby,
because like
baby back bitch, baby, man.
Yeah, like you sold your best friend out
for what? What they offer you? Wing leader? That's all your aspirations are, boy. Life goes beyond college, and yours, as pointed out time and time again, is statistically very short. So maybe do what the leaders tell you to do, but also not.
Yeah,
you can sit there and snitch while not giving full detail.
You could literally be like, oh yeah, she had a conversation with Xaden. But
but it was like really heated, and it was basically them just arguing and like nothing actually useful.
And him telling her that she was gonna die because she was weak and wasn't good enough.
You know what I mean? That he can't believe his dragons bonded to her. You know what I mean? A number of things. And it just makes me really... What a bad fucking friend. What a bad choice of partner. If they ever diddle for any point, like if she fucks him because she's mad at Zayden, I'm gonna be so mad because that man does not deserve even a glimmer of her body with how shitty he is. I hope she cuts off his fucking hands and feeds them to him. I've been reading some fucked up books, man.
I hope that like he didn't know. Part of me hopes that like they just told him like, hey, we're gonna send them to like like that. Maybe he didn't like. He just thought it was gonna be like Griffin riders that were gonna attack, not the Venom. Like I hope he doesn't know the full like scale of the corruption.
Yeah, I hope not. I hope she pulls back up and he's like, oh, and then she's like, you almost got me killed by some fucking Venom, bitch. Oh.
And he's like, what do you mean Venom? It was supposed to be the Griffin Riders, which still not great, but at least would highlight that he didn't know the full extent of their country's fucking lies and corruption.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you thought it was just going to be the Griffin Riders that were going to kill me.
Punch him. Cut his hands off.
Punch him a few times.
Cut his dick off, bro. Feed it to him. Put it up his butt. Cut his dick off and put it up his own butt. Whisper in his ear. No homo.
Like, just, because, like, I really hope that part of it is the fact that his dad's so high up and his dad's, like, trained him to be a certain way.
If he gets wing leader over her, he better recognize he can never, ever, not once, ever tell her what to truly do. And that if he tries to stop her from doing whatever it is she wants to do, he's going to get his fucking hands cut off.
Yeah.
By me. I'll literally go into the book, rewrite it. And then his hands got cut off and he couldn't read memories anymore. And he was useless to the fucking army, so they killed him off. And he learned in his death that at the end of the day, unless you are useful, they will kill you.
But literally, though, like, if you're not useful, you dying.
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye, bitch.
I don't hope he dies, but I kind of hope he gets to go through a real struggle.
We kind of have to struggle a bit.
I also hope that maybe his dragon bites his arm off or something for being a dummy.
Or maybe someone else's dragon does it, because I don't think his dragon would, but maybe Taran.
Yeah, maybe his dragon's like, listen, bro, you got me in trouble with my upper commander.
Need that arm. The one you used to swipe memories? Yeah, I'm going to need that arm.
Yeah, I'm going to eat that. The one you touched her with? Give it. Taryn wants it, so
I have to take it. I have to give it to him.
He told me I must steal your arm. Otherwise, I'm a traitor to all dragonkind, and they'll kill me, so I'm going to eat your arm in order to not die.
So, which arm did you touch her with?
What arm? Give me it! Give me it!
Could you imagine if your dragon actually did that, though?
Bruh.
But no, I am really excited. I am ready to read book 2 and kind of see how things play out there, especially with book 3 releasing here in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it'll be a good time. It'll be a jolly good show.
Okay.
Sorry. I thought the first book was phenomenal. Book 2 is probably going to frustrate me and be just as good. And book 3 is going to make me cry while we have to wait for book 4 and eventually 5. However, you know what? Good start to the year.
It really was. It was a good book to pick. I think it's one of my more favorite books that we have read.
Definitely, I think number 2, because I honestly liked Crimson Moth a little bit more because I liked their flirting a little. And down in the cave when he's on top of her and she's like, oh, I can just feel how hard he is all over. Yes, you can! Liked their spice a little bit. More. However, I think they're pretty they're so close it's kind of just ultimately hard to pick. Maybe it's because I know that Crimson Moth's number 2 comes out soon.
And it's only a duology.
Yeah, so it's like done.
2 and done.
Plus, I can see how the enemies to lovers version for them works more because they were kind of enemies and then they almost became lovers and now they really are enemies and I like the way they are enemies at the end of Crimson Moth, like I can't even see how they'll become lovers again. I literally cannot see it, so I'm excited to see how that goes down.
Yeah, same.
You know. Whereas with Xaden and Violet, I can see ultimately how by the end of book 2, maybe she's, maybe not so hateful.
Yeah.
If she's not a dum-dum. She might be a dum-dum.
She might be a dum-dum.
Sometimes
they are a little bit of dum-dums.
I do think that she's going to I have a feeling that this is going to go in the way of, like, Divergent a little bit, and she's probably going to be, like, dead at the end, giving the ultimate sacrifice for everyone, and I'm not going to like that part.
I really hope that is not the twist they're going to do.
Me too, because honestly, it would be a little predictable because of that intro part where it's getting that. It would just be, I want to be surprised, and
I'm hoping more that it's because they fight the Venom and both kingdoms are decimated enough that they just become one kingdom and they get a common language between the two of them.
And that's so, like Spanglish.
But... Yeah, and so then that's what she's transcribing into the common language is that new language that they all speak. I don't know. Yeah,
that's what I'm hoping to, or, but I'm nervous that they're going to kill Violet at the very end in the way they, like on page death. And I'm going to be a little bit sad. I would like it if maybe by the 3rd they're like 500 years late. No. Clearly it's not that long considering it's her friend who is
transcribing it.
But I'm really hoping that doesn't mean that our main character is dead and that instead maybe her friend's still a scribe but she is like head bitch in charge or something now.
Well, let's say she's the curator, so I'm hoping that like she joins them in the rebellion and when it's all over the rebellion wins and so they're correcting history by her transcribing what happened and putting things to right.
Fingers crossed, that's what I'm really hoping for.
Because like they said, it took one generation to rewrite history and another to teach it, so I'm hoping that like their generation that
is, fixing history to teach it.
Yeah.
We'll see. Either way, 4 out of 5 stars. Beautiful book. 4.5 out of 5 stars. Beautiful book. I thought it was really well done. I'm excited for the next one. I'm gonna probably start it tomorrow.
Same. I am ready to start it.
Yeah, and I have a book I want to finish today.
That's fair.
I got like 2 hours according to Kindle left in it, so.
But yeah, I'm super excited and I can't wait to start it.
Yeah, so we will see you guys in roughly 2 weeks when we go over
Iron Flame.
All right.